Welcome back to Toy Creek Farm. Doing some fun stuff with the house this time. We got our water meter put in, which is great. So now we're going to be, well, my husband's going to be digging the trench for the water line to come up to the house. And I'm supposed to help him roll out the blue, like, tubing. I don't know. But we have also done a few other things too, so let me show you. So me and my husband and my in-laws all worked on tying this rebar together into these things. My husband's, I hope he doesn't watch this and makes fun of me for not knowing what anything's called, but this is going to be going like in the footings around the house, like on the outside, and I guess for stability. I really shouldn't be the one doing the voiceover for this. Like, I'm going to be much more fun when it's time to actually work on the inside of the house, because I don't really know what's going on at this point. But my husband also installed this floor drain, which is going to be basically like centered in the shop part of the house eventually. So that's pretty neat. And he spent a lot of time really leveling out the pad so that it's ready to go for concrete whenever the time comes for that. And we also got all this pretty cool, like, I don't know, they're like hexagon shaped insulation that we're going to lay down on the ground and eventually run through piping, because we're going to have heated floors all throughout. So this is the way that it's shaped. It's to where like the I don't know if you can really see it very good in here. You can kind of see the little hexagon shapes here jutting out, but the pipe will kind of like zigzag through them. That way you don't have to use like staples and things to keep it all held down. So that's going to be really cool. We got a whole bunch of insulation as well. And on the farm side of things, we've been getting a whole lot of eggs, and I've also been getting quite a lot of cookie orders. I've been making some cookies for the farmers market. So we'll be doing a lot of that coming up in the next few weeks. And one of our pigs, who was scheduled to go to butcher, decided she was going to have babies, and it was going well, and then we got a whole bunch of rain, and then it wasn't going well. So now her and her remaining 2 babies of the 5 that she had are in with the goats, and she is making a gigantic mess of things. So here's some footage of that. Oh man, and work this week also has been crazy because the weather's been crazy. So we had some really cool storms come through. They weren't like severe or anything, but they were trying to rotate. So we got a cute little wall cloud that was just like right outside of our front porch, which was nice. Feel like I haven't seen a good storm roll through that like had good structure on it close to our house in a long time. So that was exciting for me personally, being a meteorologist. So here's some pictures of that. Go inside then.
I don't want to.
All right, now we're back to the house, and my husband has gone ahead and dug the trench for the water line all the way from the water meter all the way up to the house, and we rolled out that blue tubing, and now he's popping it in. And remember when I said we got a lot of rain? Well, now the water has kind of like seeped into our trench here, so he's just digging out this little side hole. He called it something else. I mean, he's an excavator for a living, so I'm sure this has a name, but I just don't know what it is. But this way the water can kind of flow out to the side, and we can get to the pipe and screw the tubing onto the pipe. So everything's hunky-dory, but there he is, getting this to drain a little bit. See, now it's sort of dry. It's very muddy in there, but at least there's no standing water where the pipe is. Oh, get ready for some sun. There it is. Getting ready to get the concrete poured. So now we are, and by we, I mean my husband again. He's General Contractor on the house, but he's putting those rebar things into the footings. That way, when we get the concrete poured into them, they're ready to go. So here we are pouring the concrete, me watching, of course. It's important that we have a videographer, you know? So there are the footings poured, still wet with the concrete, but we are coming along, and we're going to actually pour these huge holes filled with concrete. This is going to be where some posts kind of like stick out for our porch. These things are like super deep. I don't know how deep they are, but this took a lot of concrete to fill in. Okay. Right, that took a good few minutes, so we're skipping to the end. And this is my husband's business partner putting this like vibrating thing into the concrete. And it got like all the air bubbles out and allowed the concrete to like settle. But that thing was like super heavy. Like, if you look close, you can see it kind of like almost looking like it's boiling. That's the air bubbles coming out as the concrete settles into our hole. And we're just going to keep the updates coming because my husband has done a lot on the house. So we got this thing. Gosh, I'm so bad at this voiceover. He had somebody come and dig a hole, like bore a hole through the ground for where our power is going to go from the street all the way up to our house. It ended up being like, I don't know, 300 feet of like pipe or whatever, but the boring only went like 100 or so feet up to this point right here. And this is where you can see it going into the ground, and then it's traveling in that same direction out towards the road.
Sludge.
Very sludgy. Phew, now we're finally caught up to present day. Now the last thing that my husband did was dig little trenches for the plumbing to lay into. So next up is the plumber to arrive. But here's just a cool little front shot of the house that's going to be our porch. And now we're looking at the front of the house for the living quarters back to the shop.